everyone, Clack the Geek here, and welcome to the 3-year anniversary Q&A. First of all, sorry if I sound a bit nasally. It's because over the past few days, because of the heat we've been getting, it's been like 30, in the 30-degree range. It's just been really not good, really unbearable. So that's why I've been a bit weird. But yeah, Q&A time, let's go. So the first question, very simple and straight to the point here. Seeing as it's the 3-year anniversary, I think this question is fitting. What is your favourite video you've made? It could be any type of video. Well, that's a tricky one because I've got a lot of videos that I am proud of. All of the songs, so yeah, all of the songs that I've done, particularly Fairy Tale of COVID. That's my favourite of the songs. Some of the sketches, like Very Extraordinary Life of Brian, that's pretty the best sketch, even though I had more fun with A Study in Shelves. And I've got to say, I've been loving the Blu-ray unboxings. You know, the sexy unboxings. I've loved doing them. They're pretty the new favourites at the minute. As you really like Inside Number 9, have you watched Pemberton and Shearsmith's other shows, The League of Gentlemen and Psychoville? And if so, what do you think? Well, I haven't seen Psychoville, which is like the second show that they did in like the late noughties, early 2010s. I want to watch it, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But I have watched The League of Gentlemen, and oh my god, it is brilliant. It's hilarious, it's weird, and it's brilliant. It's just, I might do a review on it, like a TV discussion review on it, but oh god, it's so good. And the characters are just amazing. Do you plan on watching more DC? I do, yeah, I have watched bits of them. If we're talking about like the DCEU at the minute, I have watched Wonder Woman, Aquaman and Shazam, which I all really enjoyed, but the others I've not heard great things about, like Justice League and like the older one, not the new Snyder Cut, which, by the way, I will watch eventually, but it's 4 hours. What is it? I think Zack Snyder, are you trying to make the longest film ever? Why is it 4 hours? Who's your favourite YouTuber? Doesn't have to be Doctor Who. This is difficult because I like so many YouTubers. I mean, if we're talking about just Doctor Who for the minute, I mean, Adam Martin, Doctor Adventures, Fowries, they come to mind because I love their content. What's your favourite TV show other than Doctor Who? It would be Inside Number 9. I mean, to be fair, when the latest series was on, that was technically my new favourite show because it was at that time when I sort of really wasn't as fussed on the, Doctor Who at that point. If it wasn't for like the Series 1 podcasts and me doing this channel, I really couldn't. I just wasn't fussed. So I think when in May and June, when that latest series was out, I was really more invested in that than Who. And overall, the show is just a masterpiece in storytelling, in filmmaking, and in production. It's an absolutely incredible show. Have you seen Black Widow yet? If so, what are your opinions on it? I haven't, but I'm hopefully going to see it soon. And next question. Absolutely incredible for the work over the past 3 years. Oh, thank you. That's really nice. That is. As for questions, 1. If you could go back in time to watch any Doctor Who era as it aired, which would you go? E.g. the McCoy era. That'd be quite interesting. The McCoy era, to know that, even though that was the last era of Classic Who, we knew it wasn't really the end. But if I had to go back to an era, the Eccleston Tennant era, the Russell Davies era, 2006, 7, 8, that like late noughties era, because that was when Doctor Who was at its peak. I mean, I was born then, I was alive, but very, very young, and I wasn't obviously watching Doctor Who then. And I would love just to see how everybody was raving about it back then. It would just be such. I would kill to watch Journey's End live, just to see how everybody felt. Oh, definitely, yeah. Question 2, favourite sketch you've made? Probably the one I had most fun making was Study in Shelves, but the best one I think is pretty Life of Brian. And number 3, which of Murray Gold's song is your favourite? E.g. Song for 10, Angel Put the Devil in Me, etc. Mine would have to be Song for 10 too. I think that I love that song. It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, speaking of Song for 10, I was thinking like late last year, early this year, to do maybe a cover of it near Christmas time. If that's something you want to see, then say in the comments. 3 years, that means 1 year since I started watching your channel. Ooh, okay. Have loved every single video and thanks for the poster for my sketch. Oh yeah, to everyone's poster entry, you're welcome. And thanks, Chris, as well. Anyway, 2 questions. 1, out of all the places the Doctor has visited, which would you most like to go to and why? It can be a time period, a planet, or even Rose's front room. Of course I'd go to Rose's front room. I would probably go, this might be a bit of a random choice, but I'd like to go to Akaten, you know, the Rings of Akaten, because it's such an interesting world and culture. There's so much there to take in that I'd like to go there. I always love the Doctor stories where they're in the episode and it's a good chunk of the episode of them just having fun. Like I was rewatching Black Orchid not long ago, and the majority of the first part is them just playing cricket. You know, at that dance, there's that like sort of party thing. You know, I love Doctor stories that have that, and I would want to go somewhere from an episode where they do sort of that kind of stuff. Number 2, which Doctor would you most like to go on a trip with? I feel I'd be most safe with John Pertwee's Doctor, the 3rd Doctor, because he could beat up all the enemies. But a Doctor, I'd also like to go with a Doctor who was a bit more fun and bonkers. So Troughton could be a good shout. Tom, maybe McCoy. Matt Smith, maybe Jodie, maybe. Number 1, did you see Godzilla vs Kong? It was amazing. I haven't seen it, but I would like to see it, because I did see some of the other Godzilla movies. The one with King of the Monsters. I like that one. I really like that one. That was really good. Can you think of a question for me to ask, and then answer it, please? Why is Clack of the Geek the coolest bloke on Earth, and cooler than Mr. L Productions? Because he's been doing it longer. You asked for it. Opinions on the Black Widow movie. Again, I haven't seen it yet. What's your opinions on the COVID rules being lifted as it is Freedom Day? However, by the time you answer this, we may have ended up in another panic media just looked at. You know what? We probably will at some point. All of it. I haven't got a clue what's going on. Like the other day, about 1 million school kids apparently were sent home, me included. What inspired you to do YouTube in the first place? I mean, I've always been a geek, haven't I? I've always loved talking about, you know, movies and TV shows and Doctor Who and all this stuff. And on YouTube, you know, there's other like-minded people, and you kind of have an audience. How much Doctor Who impacted your life in general? I mean, because of Doctor Who, it's made me want to be an actor and a filmmaker, because I think with Doctor Who it feels like, because it is a British show and I am British, it feels like something that I could maybe do, whereas like Hollywood films, they felt a bit too daunting. But yeah, Doctor Who in that way it has, yeah. Inspirations from other channels. Oh my god, I've had loads of inspirations from different channels. Like if I listed every single one, we'd be here till the cows come home. Worst videos you've made, but pleased you made it. I mean, a lot of my older videos, like 2018, 2019, I think they are terrible. And I know they're terrible, but I look back and a lot of them kind of are like the blueprints for what would come later in more successful ways. So the podcast, the Clacker Chronicles that I do, that's been a constant for ages. The older stuff was terrible, poorly structured, but I've learned, and I think the newer ones, they might be longer, but they're better structured. Is there a particular character from Shakespeare that we'd like to play? I don't know really. I mean, maybe something from Macbeth, that would be quite good. Have you visited Stonehenge? No. Have you ever ridden the London Eye? No. What are your favourite pizza toppings? Ham and pineapple. What other countries would you most like to visit? I'd like to visit France, that'd be nice. And America. I've never been to America, but I'd love to visit there. Here's something I've been dying to ask a Brit. According to my DNA test, my ancestors came from Greater London, West Midlands, Greater Manchester, South Yorkshire, Glasgow City, Lancashire, Tyne and West Yorkshire, and Merseyside. All of them came to America prior to the Revolution. Are any of those locations cool places? I'm not very well travelled, so I haven't been to a lot of those, but I've been to a couple. I've been to Manchester before, and a few times, and it's alright as well. Same Birmingham, I've been there a fair few times. Have you ever seen a UFO? Ooh, it's a UFO! No, I've not seen a UFO. If you tapped to play the next Doctor Who, have you ever thought about what you'd wear? I'd probably wear like a long coat and you know, maybe something like Capaldi War. And then from there, it would kind of depend on maybe what the coat was like. Because if it's something like this, then probably something more casual. But if it was something like the red one, like the velvety sort of one, then maybe something more formal, like a suit and a tie and a shirt and, you know, waistcoat, something like that. Have you visited any locations where Doctor was filmed? I've visited Cardiff Bay a couple of times, and I've also been to Port Merion, which is where they filmed The Mask of Mandragora, the Tom Baker story. Very lovely village, by the way. Is there any particular Doctor episode of the past that you wish you could have played a part in? Possibly the Doctor himself. Oh, that's a good one. Maybe Day of the Doctor, the 50th, because there's so many characters you could play. You know, there's Daleks, Zygons, unit officers. There's so many. There's loads of different Doctors that you could play in that. So, and to be fair, I probably would want to play the Doctor in every episode. And that is just about it. So, thanks for all of the questions. And yeah, it was a great Q&A to do.